For centuries, the sprawling galactic empire had regarded the isolated planet of Earth as little more than a remote backwater, an insignificant world tucked away in the farthest reaches of the known galaxy. Its primitive inhabitants, the Earthlings, were dismissed as a technologically inferior species, their quaint civilizations of no consequence to the grand imperial designs. However, in recent stellar cycles, unsettling reports had begun to filter in from the outer colonies, painting a puzzling picture. Seemingly unreliable accounts spoke of strange, unidentified vessels exhibiting feats of speed and maneuverability that defied the limits of contemporary spacecraft. These mysterious crafts were observed performing daring feats, their movements erratic and unpredictable, easily evading pursuit by even the Empire's most advanced starfighters. The Imperial Senate was deeply divided in their response to these peculiar sightings. Many of the elder statesmen were quick to dismiss the claims as mere exaggerations or outright fabrications, the product of overactive imagination and poor observation. They insisted that such technological marvels could not possibly originate from a world as underdeveloped as Earth. However, a growing faction, led by the more forward-thinking members of the ruling body, demanded a closer examination of this seemingly insignificant planet. "We cannot afford to be complacent," argued Legate Tarkos, a respected veteran of the Imperial fleet. "These reports, as unbelievable as they may seem, cannot be ignored. What if Earth possesses some undiscovered capability, some technological advantage that we have overlooked? The risk of underestimating their potential is too great. We must investigate further." After heated debate, the Senate ultimately agreed to dispatch a small, specialized reconnaissance team to observe Earth from orbit and gather comprehensive intelligence on its military and technological capabilities. The mission was cloaked in utmost secrecy, with only a select few privy to its true purpose. The chosen operatives were handpicked for their discretion, tactical acumen, and ability to blend seamlessly into the shadows. As the reconnaissance vessel silently entered the outer reaches of the Earth system, the team on board steeled themselves for what they might encounter. None could have anticipated the sheer magnitude of the revelations that awaited them. What the specialized observers witnessed in the days that followed would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Empire, forever altering the course of galactic history. The first sign of Earth's true capabilities came when the reconnaissance team attempted to track the movement of a suspected military craft, only to lose it completely. The vessel seemed to simply vanish from their sensors, reappearing moments later at an entirely different location. The pilot's maneuvers defied the known laws of physics, accelerating and decelerating at rates that should have torn the craft apart. Even more perplexing were the energy signatures detected emanating from the Earthling vessels. Their power output far exceeded anything the Imperial scientists had ever encountered, rivaling the output of the Empire's own capital ships. And the weaponry, the destructive power exhibited by their energy-based armaments, was unlike anything the reconnaissance team had witnessed before. As the days turned to weeks, the specialized observers continued to gather intelligence, compiling detailed reports on Earth's technological advancements. The picture that emerged was one of a civilization far more advanced than the Empire had ever imagined possible. Shielding systems, faster than light propulsion, directed energy weapons. The Earthlings possessed capabilities that placed them on par with, if not surpassing, the most powerful forces in the known galaxy. Stunned by these revelations, the reconnaissance team knew they had uncovered a secret that could shake the very foundations of the Galactic Empire. This isolated, primitive world had managed to conceal the true depths of its technological prowess, keeping the rest of the galaxy in the dark. The implications were staggering. What other mysteries might Earth be hiding? And how could the Empire, so accustomed to its own technological supremacy, respond to this newfound threat? With a growing sense of unease, the operatives prepared to depart, their findings certain to send shockwaves through the Imperial power structure. The fate of the galaxy itself now hung in the balance. As the specialized reconnaissance vessel silently slipped back into the inky void of interstellar space, its crew knew they carried with them knowledge that could forever alter the course of galactic history. The technological marvels they had witnessed during their time in Earth's orbit defied everything the Galactic Empire had long believed about the primitive planet and its inhabitants. Barely containing their astonishment, the operatives immediately set a course for the imperial capital, their priority to deliver a full report to the highest echelons of the ruling body. The fate of the galaxy, they knew, now hung in the balance. Upon their arrival, the reconnaissance team was ushered into an emergency session of the Imperial Senate, where they laid bare the shocking details of their findings. The elder statesmen, many of whom had previously dismissed the rumors of Earth's capabilities, now sat in stunned silence as the specialists described the dazzling displays of speed, maneuverability, and firepower exhibited by the Earthling vessels. "What we witnessed defies all logic and reason," the lead operative, Commander Varek, declared solemnly. "The power output of their craft, the sophistication of their shielding systems, the destructive capabilities of their directed energy armaments, these are technologies that rival, and in many cases surpass, our own. This primitive world has managed to conceal the true depths of its technological advancement from the rest of the galaxy." Murmurs of disbelief and growing unease swept through the Senate chamber as the magnitude of the revelation sank in. For generations, the Galactic Empire had regarded itself as the unrivaled technological and military superpower of the known universe. The very notion that a backwater planet like Earth could possess such advanced capabilities was almost inconceivable. "If what you say is true," interjected the Grand Vizier, a weathered veteran of the imperial bureaucracy, "then we must act swiftly to neutralize this potential threat. Earth's people have demonstrated a troubling ability to deceive us. Who's to say they do not harbor hostile intentions towards the Empire?" The Emperor himself, a shrewd and calculating ruler, raised a hand to silence the growing chorus of voices. "Calm yourselves, my friends," he said in a measured tone. "We must not be hasty in our judgments. These findings, while concerning, also present us with an opportunity." Turning his gaze towards the reconnaissance team, the Emperor continued, "You have done the Empire a great service by uncovering this remarkable secret. Now we must decide how best to proceed. Shall we treat Earth as a hostile power, or might there be a path to cooperation and understanding?" The debate that ensued was heated and divisive. Some argued passionately for a preemptive strike, advocating the complete subjugation of the Earth before its technology could be used against the Empire. Others, however, recognized the potential benefits of establishing diplomatic relations and engaging in a cultural and technological exchange. In the end, it was the Emperor's wisdom that prevailed. Raising a hand to silence the clashing voices, he declared, "We will make first contact with the people of Earth. We will attempt to understand the true nature of their civilization, their intentions, and the depths of their capabilities. Only then can we determine the appropriate course of action." The decision made, the imperial delegates prepared to embark on a mission of the utmost importance and sensitivity. The fate of the galaxy, it seemed, now rested upon their ability to navigate the uncharted waters of first contact with this remarkable, isolated world. The imperial capital of Coruscant was abuzz with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation as the news of the reconnaissance team's findings spread through the ruling echelons. The revelation that the long-dismissed planet of Earth possessed technological capabilities that rivaled, and in some cases surpassed, the Galactic Empire's own had sent shockwaves through the established order. In the opulent chambers of the Imperial Palace, the Emperor himself convened a select council of his most trusted advisors to discuss the appropriate course of action. The stakes could not be higher. A misstep could potentially lead to the destabilization of the entire galactic order, while the potential rewards of establishing positive relations with this remarkable world were equally tantalizing. "We cannot afford to underestimate the threat that Earth poses," warned Grand Moff Tarkin, a seasoned military strategist. Their ability to conceal the true depths of their technological prowess from us for so long is a clear indication of their capacity for deception. For all we know, they may harbor hostile intentions towards the Empire, and we must be prepared to act decisively. The Emperor listened intently, his weathered features betraying no outward emotion. "Your concerns are duly noted, Grand Moff," he replied evenly. "However, I cannot help but wonder if there may be an alternative path forward, one that does not involve subjugating this remarkable world, but rather seeks to understand it, and potentially forge a mutually beneficial alliance." Turning to the chief scientist in the room, the Emperor continued, "Sinar, you have studied the intelligence gathered by our reconnaissance team. What is your assessment of Earth's technological capabilities and the potential risks and rewards of establishing contact?" Sinar, a renowned expert in the field of advanced propulsion and energy systems, cleared his throat nervously before speaking. "Sire, the reports we have received are nothing short of astounding. The power output and maneuverability of the Earthling vessels far exceed anything we have encountered in the known galaxy. Their directed energy weapons, in particular, possess a level of destructive capability that could pose a grave threat to even our most formidable capital ships." The Emperor nodded, his expression grave. "And the potential benefits of forging an alliance with this world. The technological and scientific insights we could gain from a collaborative effort are simply staggering," Sinar replied, his eyes alight with excitement. "Mastery of their propulsion systems alone could revolutionize interstellar travel and commerce throughout the Empire. And their shielding technology, the ability to withstand the kind of firepower we've witnessed, could be a game-changer in the field of defense." The council chamber fell silent as the weight of Sinar's words sank in. The Emperor leaned back in his chair, steepling his fingers as he contemplated the decision before him. "Then it is settled," he declared after a long moment. "We will make first contact with the people of Earth. I will personally lead a diplomatic mission to establish relations and explore the potential for cooperation. We cannot afford to let this opportunity slip through our grasp." As the council members departed, each lost in their own thoughts, the gravity of the decision they had just witnessed hung in the air. The fate of the Galactic Empire, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now rested upon the success or failure of this unprecedented diplomatic endeavor. The corridors of the Imperial flagship were alive with a palpable sense of anticipation as the massive vessel cut through the inky void of interstellar space, its destination the unassuming planet of Earth. Aboard the ship, a delegation of the Galactic Empire's most seasoned diplomats and scientists prepared themselves for the momentous task that lay ahead, establishing first contact with this remarkable, isolated world. Leading the mission was the Emperor himself, a shrewd and calculating ruler whose personal stake in the outcome was evident in the intensity of his gaze. For generations, the Galactic Empire had regarded Earth as little more than a backwater, its people primitive and inconsequential. But the stunning revelations uncovered by the reconnaissance team had shattered that long-held assumption, revealing a civilization that possessed technological capabilities that rivaled, and in some cases surpassed, even the most advanced Imperial forces. As the flagship entered the outer reaches of Earth's solar system, the diplomatic team's sensors detected a flurry of activity. Numerous vessels, both military and civilian in nature, converging on their position. The Earthlings had clearly detected the arrival of the Imperial craft and were wasting no time in responding. Tensions ran high on the bridge as the Earthling vessels approached, their advanced propulsion systems and maneuverable flight patterns hinting at the true depths of their technological prowess. Yet, to the surprise of the Imperial observers, the Earthling craft did not immediately open fire or attempt to drive off the intruders. Instead, they maintained a respectful distance, appearing to simply observe the foreign vessel. After a tense standoff that seemed to stretch on for an eternity, a coded transmission suddenly crackled to life on the flagship's communication systems. The message, delivered in a surprisingly comprehensible approximation of the Galactic Standard Language, was succinct and to the point. "Identify yourselves and state your purpose. You have entered the sovereign territory of the planet Earth. The Emperor, who had been monitoring the situation from the command deck, nodded to the communications officer, signaling him to respond. "I am Emperor Palpatine of the Galactic Empire," came the measured reply. "We have come in peace, with the intention of establishing diplomatic relations with your people. We mean you no harm." Another long silence followed, during which the Imperial delegation could almost feel the weight of the Earthlings' collective gaze bearing down upon them. Then, finally, the response arrived. "We acknowledge your claim of peaceful intent, Emperor Palpatine. However, you must understand that we have been isolated from the greater galactic community for centuries. Your sudden appearance in our skies understandably causes us great concern. Before we can consider any form of diplomatic engagement, we require further assurances of your goodwill and a detailed explanation of your motivations." The Emperor's brow furrowed slightly as he considered the Earthlings' words. It was clear that these people, despite their remarkable technological prowess, were deeply wary of the Galactic Empire and its intentions. Gaining their trust would require a delicate touch, a careful balancing act of diplomacy and transparency. "Then let us begin the process of building that trust," the Emperor replied, his voice carrying a tone of measured sincerity. "I propose that we dispatch a small delegation to your planet, so that we may engage in direct dialogue and better understand one another. Only through open communication can we hope to forge a lasting and mutually beneficial relationship." Another pause, followed by a response that, while still guarded, carried a hint of cautious optimism. "Very well, Emperor Palpatine. We will grant your delegation limited access to our planet, under the condition that you abide by our terms and conditions. We look forward to the opportunity to engage in these discussions." As the communication channel fell silent once more, the Imperial delegates exchanged wary glances. The first steps towards contact had been taken, but the path ahead was fraught with uncertainty. The fate of the galaxy, it seemed, now rested upon their ability to navigate the treacherous waters of diplomacy with this remarkable isolated world. As the Imperial delegation touched down on the surface of Earth, they were greeted by a contingent of Earthling officials, their expressions a mixture of wariness and curiosity. The initial moments were marked by an uneasy silence, both sides carefully sizing up the other, searching for any indication of hostile intent. Yet, to the surprise of the Imperial envoys, the Earthlings quickly set about ushering them into a sophisticated, gleaming facility, its architecture and design unlike anything the galactic emissaries had ever encountered. It was clear that this was no mere backwater world, but rather a civilization that had mastered the art of advanced engineering and construction. Once settled into their temporary quarters, the Imperial delegation was granted a rare audience with the leaders of Earth's governing council. Seated across a sleek, minimalist table, the Earthling representatives listened intently as the Emperor himself outlined the Galactic Empire's desire to establish peaceful relations and explore potential avenues of cooperation. "We have long regarded your world with a degree of indifference," the Emperor admitted candidly. "But the recent discoveries made by our reconnaissance team have shown us the error of our ways. The technological prowess your people have achieved is truly remarkable, surpassing even the most advanced capabilities of the Empire in many respects." The Earthling leaders exchanged wary glances, their expressions unreadable. Finally, one of them, a woman with an air of quiet authority, spoke. "We appreciate your candor, Emperor Palpatine. It is true that we have long kept our true technological capabilities hidden from the rest of the galaxy. Our isolation has been a conscious choice, born of a desire to avoid the complications and conflicts that often arise from such interactions." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the Imperial delegation. "However, your arrival has presented us with a unique opportunity. We find ourselves intrigued by the prospect of engaging in a mutually beneficial exchange of knowledge and technology." The Emperor's eyes widened slightly, betraying his surprise at the Earthling's willingness to consider such a proposition. "Then you are open to the idea of collaboration?" he asked, barely concealing his eagerness. "Indeed," the Earthling leader replied, a hint of a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "But first, we must establish a foundation of trust. We will grant you limited access to observe and study certain aspects of our technological capabilities. In return, we expect complete transparency from the Galactic Empire regarding your own advancements." The negotiations that followed were delicate and at times contentious, as both sides sought to protect their respective interests. But slowly, gradually, a rapport began to emerge, built on a shared fascination with the technological marvels each civilization had to offer. As the days turned to weeks, the Imperial scientists and engineers were granted access to study Earth's advanced propulsion systems, energy generation, and shielding technologies. Their amazement only grew as they bore witness to the ingenuity and creativity of the Earthling people, realizing that the true depths of their scientific prowess had been largely underestimated. In return, the Earthlings eagerly absorbed the knowledge and insights shared by the Imperial delegation, their thirst for learning and exploration nearly insatiable. Concepts like hyperspace travel, interstellar commerce, and the workings of the galactic community at large were met with rapt attention and a genuine desire to understand. For the first time, the Galactic Empire found itself in the position of the student, humbled by the technological achievements of this once isolated world. And as the exchange of knowledge and ideas continued, both sides began to recognize the potential for a truly symbiotic relationship, one that could reshape the very fabric of the galaxy itself. The path forward was still fraught with challenges and uncertainties, but the tentative steps taken during this initial contact had planted the seeds of a partnership that could alter the course of history. The Galactic Empire's perception of Earth had been forever transformed, and the possibilities that now lay before them were nothing short of staggering. As the weeks turned into months, the delicate dance of diplomacy and technological exchange between the Galactic Empire and the people of Earth continued to unfold, each side carefully navigating the uncharted waters of their newfound partnership. The initial wariness and suspicion that had marked the first contact had gradually given way to a growing sense of mutual fascination and respect. For the Imperial delegation, the opportunity to study and learn from Earth's advanced technological capabilities had been nothing short of revelatory. Concepts and feats of engineering that had long been considered impossible were now being observed firsthand, shattering long-held assumptions and opening up entirely new realms of possibility. The Earthlings, in turn, had displayed an insatiable thirst for knowledge, eagerly absorbing the insights and information shared by their galactic counterparts. The workings of hyperspace travel, the intricacies of interstellar commerce, and the expansive nature of the Galactic Empire's sphere of influence, all of these were met with rapt attention and a genuine desire to understand. Yet, beneath the surface of this burgeoning alliance, there remained a palpable sense of unease. Both sides were keenly aware that the fragile trust they had built could be shattered in an instant, should any misstep or misunderstanding occur. The stakes, after all, were nothing short of galactic in scale. It was the Emperor himself who first broached the topic of solidifying their newfound partnership, summoning the Earthling delegation to the grand audience chamber of the Imperial Palace on Coruscant. Flanked by his most trusted advisors, the aged ruler fixed the Earthlings with a penetrating gaze, his voice carrying a tone of both respect and authority. "My friends, the time has come for us to take the next step in our relationship. The technological and scientific insights we have gained through our collaboration have been invaluable, transforming the very foundations of the Galactic Empire. And yet, I cannot help but feel that we have only begun to scratch the surface of what is possible when our two civilizations work in concert." He paused, allowing his words to sink in before continuing. "It is my belief that the time has come for us to formalize our alliance, to cement our partnership in a way that will ensure its longevity and prosperity. I propose that we establish a joint commission, tasked with overseeing the continued exchange of knowledge and the development of collaborative projects that will benefit both our peoples." The Earthling delegates exchanged thoughtful glances, their expressions difficult to read. Finally, the same woman who had led the initial contact stepped forward, her bearing regal and commanding. "Emperor Palpatine, Your proposal is indeed a weighty one. The people of Earth have long been wary of entangling ourselves in the affairs of the greater galaxy, for we have seen how such involvement can lead to conflict and upheaval. And yet the potential that lies before us, the possibility of advancing our civilizations in ways we have scarcely imagined, is simply too tempting to ignore. She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembled imperial court. We will accept your offer of a formal alliance, Emperor Palpatine. But know this, we do so not out of a desire for power or conquest, but rather in the hopes of fostering a future of peace, prosperity, and shared discovery. The Galactic Empire must understand that our partnership will be one of equals, built upon mutual respect and a shared commitment to the betterment of all. The Emperor's lips curled into a satisfied smile as he nodded. So be it, then. Let us begin the work of forging a new era, one in which the Galactic Empire and the people of Earth stand side by side, united in their quest for knowledge and the betterment of the galaxy. As the delegates from both civilizations set about the task of drafting the formal treaty, a palpable sense of excitement and possibility filled the air. The future, it seemed, had never been brighter. The formal alliance between the Galactic Empire and the people of Earth had been hailed as a momentous achievement, a testament to the power of cooperation and the potential for transformative progress when two vastly different civilizations set aside their differences. Yet, as the initial euphoria began to subside, the harsh realities of forging such an unprecedented partnership quickly became apparent. Tensions and misunderstandings, born of centuries of isolation and divergent cultural norms, threatened to derail the fragile alliance at every turn. The imperial delegates, long accustomed to the rigid hierarchies and strict protocols of the Galactic Court, found themselves bewildered by the Earthlings' more egalitarian approach to decision-making. Conversely, the Earthling representatives were at times perplexed by the Byzantine intricacies of imperial bureaucracy, their impatience for tangible results clashing with the Empire's tendency towards protracted deliberation. We must move swiftly to implement the collaborative projects we've agreed upon, argued Legate Tarkos, a veteran of the Imperial fleet. Each passing day sees us falling behind the technological curve as the Earthlings continue to push the boundaries of what is possible. The Emperor raised a hand, silencing the impassioned plea. Patience, my friend. Rome, as they say, was not built in a day. Forging a lasting alliance requires a delicate touch, a willingness to navigate the nuances of our cultural differences. Turning to the Earthling delegation, the Emperor continued. Our friends from Earth have made it clear that they seek a partnership of equals, one built on mutual respect and a shared vision. We would do well to heed their counsel, lest we risk shattering the fragile trust we've worked so hard to build. The Earthling representatives nodded in agreement, their expressions earnest. The Emperor speaks wisely, said the sane woman who had led the initial contact. We recognize the challenges that lie ahead, but our commitment to this alliance remains unwavering. If we are to truly reap the benefits of our collaboration, we must be willing to embrace each other's perspectives and adapt to one another's ways. And so, with a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of the cultural nuances at play, the Joint Commission set about the arduous task of navigating the uncharted waters of their newfound partnership. Slowly, painstakingly, they chipped away at the barriers that threatened to divide them, finding common ground in their shared curiosity and a genuine desire to push the boundaries of scientific and technological progress. The fruits of their labor were not long in coming. Breakthroughs in propulsion systems, advancements in shielding technology, and the development of unprecedented energy-based weaponry. The collaborative efforts of the Galactic Empire and Earth yielded remarkable results that captivated the imagination of the entire galaxy. Yet, even as the alliance grew stronger and the scope of their joint endeavors expanded, the specter of potential conflict remained. Whispers of discontent began to filter in from the more conservative factions within the imperial power structure, their concerns rooted in a deep-seated mistrust of the Earthlings and a fear of the disruption their partnership might bring to the established order. This alliance is a dangerous gamble, warned Grand Moff Tarkin, his weathered features etched with a scowl. "The Earthlings may have proven their technological prowess, but who's to say they do not harbor ambitions of their own? We cannot afford to let our guard down, lest we risk the fragmentation of the Galactic Empire itself." The Emperor listened intently, his expression unreadable. He knew that Tarkin's concerns were not without merit, and that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges and potential pitfalls. But the potential rewards of this alliance, the scientific and technological breakthroughs, the economic opportunities, the cultural exchange, were simply too enticing to ignore. "We will proceed with caution," the Emperor declared, his voice firm. "But we will not allow fear and suspicion to undermine the progress we have made. The Earthlings have proved themselves to be worthy partners, and we shall continue to build upon the trust we have established." With that, the Emperor turned his gaze towards the Earthling delegation, his eyes alight with a newfound determination. The future of the galaxy, it seemed, hung in the balance. As the groundbreaking alliance between the Galactic Empire and the people of Earth continued to bear fruit, the reverberations of their partnership were felt throughout the vast expanse of the known galaxy. Technological breakthroughs and scientific advancements, born of the collaborative efforts of the two civilizations, were revolutionizing every aspect of life, from interstellar travel and commerce to the very nature of warfare itself. Yet, despite the undeniable successes of this unprecedented alliance, a growing sense of unease and discontent began to take root within the imperial power structures. The more conservative factions of the Galactic Court, led by the likes of Grand Moff Tarkin and others who had long viewed the Earthlings with suspicion, refused to be swayed by the tangible benefits of the partnership. "This alliance is a dangerous gamble," Tarkin growled during a heated session of the Imperial Senate, his weathered features etched with a scowl. "The Earthlings may have proved their technological prowess, but who's to say they do not harbor ambitions of their own? We cannot afford to let our guard down, lest we risk the fragmentation of the Galactic Empire itself." The Emperor, who had presided over the formation of the alliance, listened intently, his expression unreadable. He recognized the validity of Tarkin's concerns. The stakes were indeed high, and the potential for catastrophic missteps was ever present. But the visionary ruler also understood the transformative power of the partnership, the boundless possibilities that lay before them if they could navigate the challenges with wisdom and foresight. "Grand Moff Tarkin, your concerns are duly noted," the Emperor replied calmly. "But we cannot allow fear and suspicion to undermine the progress we have made. The Earthlings have proved themselves to be worthy partners, and we shall continue to build upon the trust we have established." The impassioned debate that followed in the Senate chambers was a testament to the depth of the divide within the imperial ranks. While some, like the Emperor, recognized the immense potential of the Earth-Galactic Alliance, others remained steadfast in their belief that the Earthlings could not be trusted, that they posed a fundamental threat to the stability and dominance of the Galactic Empire. As the tensions escalated, the Earthling delegation found themselves increasingly caught in the crosshairs of the imperial power struggle. Whispers of espionage, sabotage, and even outright betrayal began to swirl through the corridors of power, sowing seeds of doubt and mistrust. The Earthling representatives, sensing the growing hostility, sought to reassure their imperial counterparts, reaffirming their commitment to the alliance and their desire to work in harmony for the betterment of the galaxy. But their pleas for understanding often fell on deaf ears, as the more hardline elements of the imperial court remained steadfast in their opposition. "We have granted the Earthlings far too much access to our most sensitive technologies and military capabilities," railed Moff Jerjerrod, a rising star within the imperial hierarchy. "It is only a matter of time before they use this knowledge against us, seeking to undermine our power and control." The Emperor, caught between the warring factions, found himself in a precarious position. On one hand, he recognized the validity of the concerns raised by his most trusted advisors. The Earthlings, for all their technological prowess, remained an unknown quantity, and the risks of trusting them too deeply were indeed considerable. But on the other hand, The Emperor could not ignore the tangible benefits that had already accrued from the alliance, nor could he dismiss the profound potential that lay before them if they could navigate the challenges with wisdom and unity. As the debate raged on, the future of the Galactic Empire, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The path forward was fraught with uncertainty, and the stakes had never been higher. The tension within the Galactic Empire had reached a fever pitch as the bitter dispute over the alliance with Earth threatened to tear the ruling body apart. On one side stood the conservative factions, led by the likes of Grand Moff Tarkin and Moff Jerjerrod, who viewed the Earthlings as a dangerous and untrustworthy threat to the established order. On the other, the Emperor and his more forward-thinking advisors championed the transformative potential of the partnership, extolling the benefits of scientific and technological cooperation. As the debate raged on, the Earthling delegation found themselves caught in the crosshairs of the imperial power struggle, subjected to a relentless barrage of accusations and suspicion. The whispers of espionage and sabotage that had once been mere rumors now threatened to become a reality, as the hardliners within the imperial court sought to undermine the alliance by any means necessary. Yet even as the clouds of doubt and mistrust gathered, the Earthlings remained steadfast in their commitment to the partnership. They understood the risks, the potential for catastrophic missteps, but they also recognized the profound opportunity that lay before them, the chance to reshape the very fabric of the galaxy through the power of cooperation and shared progress. "We have come too far to turn back now," the Earthling leader, Generis, declared during a tense meeting with the Emperor and his inner circle. "The technological breakthroughs we have achieved, the scientific discoveries we have made, these are the keys to a brighter future, not just for our two civilizations, but for the entire galaxy." Riz's words were met with a mix of begrudging acknowledgement and steadfast resistance from the imperial delegates. The divide seemed irreconcilable, and the fate of the alliance hung in the balance. It was in this moment of crisis that the Emperor, drawing upon the wisdom and foresight that had long defined his rule, stepped forward to address the assembled gathering. "My friends, we stand at a crossroads," he began, his voice carrying a weight and gravity that silenced the room. "The path ahead is fraught with uncertainty, yes, but also with the promise of a future beyond our wildest dreams. To turn our backs on this alliance now would be to forfeit the very progress we have fought so hard to achieve." The Emperor's gaze swept across the faces of his advisors, his expression stern yet resolute. "I understand your concerns, your fears of the unknown. But I implore you, let us not allow suspicion and mistrust to blind us to the remarkable potential that lies before us." Turning to the Earthling delegation, the Emperor's features softened slightly. "Generis, you and your people have proven yourselves to be worthy partners. Your commitment to this alliance, and to the betterment of the galaxy as a whole, is unimpeachable. Together, we have the power to usher in a new era of unprecedented progress and prosperity." The room fell silent, the weight of the Emperor's words hanging heavy in the air. Then, slowly, one by one, the hardline imperial delegates began to nod, their expressions shifting from stubborn resistance to a cautious openness. "Very well, Your Majesty," Grand Moff Tarkin conceded, his gruff voice laced with a hint of reluctance. "We shall continue to pursue this alliance, but know that we will be watching closely, ever vigilant against the slightest hint of betrayal." A faint smile tugged at the corners of the Emperor's lips. "Vigilance is wise, my friend. But let us also embrace the spirit of cooperation and discovery that has brought us this far. The future of the galaxy depends upon it." With that, the Imperial Senate chamber erupted into a flurry of activity, as the delegates from both the Galactic Empire and Earth set about the task of charting a course forward, a future forged in the crucible of their alliance, and powered by the boundless potential of their shared progress.